Hey there, Titans. Let me show you a nice way how to post chatter with mentions. So what we want to achieve here is the following. So let's say we're in an account in Salesforce. Go to this guy. And what we want to do is we want to have a chatter post. And we want to say something like this. Hello. And then we'll do at something in Salesforce, either typically a user or a group. And then we share it, and then that user can see that it was mentioned in the chatter post. And we want to do that with Titan Web. So let me show you how it's done. So technically the way to do it is mentioning the user like so. So you got to do this at, and then have regular brackets and do the user ID here. This is where the user ID goes, user ID or group. And obviously we want to do it dynamically. So we will use a few tools here. So first let me show you how this works. So we're going to select the record to post to. Let's do for something for gene point. And here I will select users dimension. This is a lookup with a multiple option enabled. So we can grab multiple records in one go. We'll say hello is really cool, and we'll post. And let's go to our gene point account. Go over here, and let's take a look at our chatter. And here is our post with the mentions. So everybody I mentioned on the chatter post from Titan arrived in Salesforce. So let me show you how I got this done. So I have here two lookups, one for account record in this instance, could be anything, and this one is for users. You could do it with groups as well. And on this guy over here, this lookup, I enabled multiple selection. Again, this is just a use case. It's showing you can do it in a completely dynamic way. If you need to do it statically, it's much easier. If you want to mention a single user each time, it's much easier than this. And then we got that message. Once we click post, then we call Salesforce. We're running a get. That get is calling a Salesforce flow. Salesforce flow is very simple. Only thing you got over there is an action, post to chatter, standard Salesforce action. And we're passing two variables over here, so message and record ID. You can also, if you're pushing it to an experience cloud, to a feed in a community, you could use that. Target type, visibility, everything standard Salesforce. The only other thing that I've added here is two variables with available for input checked, one for record ID and the other one for the message. So that was the message, and one for the record ID. Both of these variables we're passing in the parameters from Titan. So you can see that I'm sending message with mentions and record ID, the lookup value that we selected for the record to post to. Now let's get to the fun part. So this is just connecting the dots together. Now how do we generate this message? Because over here I've written hello, this is really cool, and we need to take this and basically add to it this syntax with the user IDs I've selected over here. Okay, so first thing I've done is, once this is not empty, so I have a condition on this guy saying once this lookup field for select users dimension is not empty, then what I want to do is I want to set a value to a global variable I've created, lookup value, and it will set the values to it, just the IDs. So if we'll look at the debug mode, we can see lookup value is a bunch of IDs over here. 3 IDs that I've selected, or 4 if I've selected 3, or 2 or 1, it will end up in the lookup value global variable. It could be a page variable as well. It's just a single page, so I put it on the as a global variable. Okay, so that's the static variable lookup value. It gets whatever the value of the lookup mention lookup is. Next up is I have a custom JavaScript which does the mention magic. So we take the user IDs and we split by semicolon because this is what we're getting from the set value. And we're iterating through it, and we're just adding the syntax so Salesforce can digest the at mention. So we're adding the at and the bracket, adding the user ID, and adding another bracket, and returning it as a string. So we're pushing it into an array and returning it to a simple string. Then lastly, we have again a simple string formula. Take the message, combine it with this is not power field anymore, it's my mentions, and this guy, message with mentions, is being sent to our flow. And this is how it's done.